Hey, Mark Harvey here, and in this video you're going to learn 5 steps for you to get your first rent-to-rent deal. So hey, I'm here with the amazing Justin and Ray. These have been real life trial members for what, over a year now?
Yeah, just over a year.
Over a year. We're in Leicester, sunny old Leicester. We were just talking before, actually, driving on the way here, I just seen a street that actually reminded me. I was here doing the work, just like Justin is in his workplace now. Yeah, when I was 15 years old, we did 2 HMOs, 4 stories. These had between 15 and 20 rooms in them. You know, there was a kitchen on every floor. So these houses are huge.
Yeah,
these houses are huge. I mean, this one we're in right now, it's not as big as that, but we're going to move on to some of those projects, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
But right now, we're just going to ask these guys what are the 5 tips that they want to give you so you can go out there and get your first deal. Because these guys have generated, what, you have about, how many now, 16?
16.
Yeah, in the last 12 months, 16 rent-to-rent properties. Yeah, how many units is that?
Over 90?
Yeah, over 90 units. That's producing over £10,000 net profit per month. So listen to what these guys have to say. So what's the first step that somebody needs to get their head around to go and get out their first deal?
I think the first step they need to get their head around is learning exactly what rent-to-rent is and how best to put that forward. Because if you don't put it forward in the right way, people say, oh, you're subletting, and they get barriers up straight away, don't they? So I think for us it's
the
knowing, knowing exactly what it is and how you're benefiting the landlord, because that is what you're doing. We know 100% what we put forward, it would almost be silly for the landlord to say no, because it is a massive win for them.
Yes.
So that's definitely number 1 tip.
So the first step is getting the knowledge to know how to even talk about it in the first place.
Yeah.
Because actually, based on what you're saying there, because I hear it all the time. It's like, oh, but the agents don't accept rent-to-rent. They think it's subletting. It's illegal. You know, all of this crazy stuff. So actually, if you don't get the first step right, then you're going to just be knocked over time and time again.
Definitely.
No matter how many letters you send, no matter how many conversations with agents you have, it's literally just you're gonna fall at the first hurdle. Okay, so you definitely need the knowledge, so you know how to have that conversation. But then, what do you do?
So my second tip would be finding your goldmine area. Obviously, you don't want to take on a property which you can't rent out once you've done it up. So you need to make sure you've got so many local amenities close by. You want a good tram route, train route, bus route, anywhere which is close to a town centre. You want shops nearby, and yeah, you want to be close to people's workplace.
Yeah. And
also close to hospitals and local universities. So the property that we're actually studying at the minute is close to a hospital in Leicester, it's close to De Montfort University in Leicester, and the other university of Leicester. So it can appeal to working professionals and also the students.
Yeah, the way we do it is the first few people who send us messages about rooms, if it's professionals, then it becomes a professional house. If it's students, then it becomes a student house. So we take the most demand, don't we, and we avoid mixing them where possible.
Yeah.
Sounds so simple.
It is.
It is. I mean, it is simple. It's just made very complicated because you say in university, you say in Leicester, so people. I'm not saying you who's watching this video, but some people, they might start to say, oh yeah, but the university are closed, it's seasonal. What about if a factory shuts down and things like that, and they start overcomplicating. But we can talk about that further in a different video. So you make sure you subscribe to this channel, because we've got some other videos coming where how to actually negotiate and ink the deal, how to get the right deal. Okay, cool. So what's the next tip?
So the next tip is actually finding the deals and talking to agents and landlords.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of our deals through letter-in landlords from the HMO Public Register, and that works really, really well for us. But you should never count out talking to letting agents, because letting agents right now are desperate for people like us to be taking on rent-to-rents. There's a lot of properties on the market which have not rented out for the next student people coming in. So then people like us come along and we take the properties off them, which they might not have been able to get rid of because they've missed the student market.
So the hot thing that everybody's missing when not talking to agents is the fact that what's the agent's job? The agent's job is to fill the room and manage the property. But in a climate where people are struggling to do that because the product is not of a standard for someone to actually want to live there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can't fill it. So this is the point that, you know, you need to make sure. Then this is going to help you people get their first deal, right? Because if you actually have this conversation, they want help and need help filling the rooms, filling these properties.
Yeah, this property was actually up with a local letting agent, and it had been up with them for a year. It had been empty for the full year.
Wow.
I happened to send a letter to the landlord. He rung me straight up, and I had to actually pick the keys up from the letting agent because it had been stood empty for a year. But if I'd have called them, would have got the property straight away for sure by building that relationship with the agent.
Yeah, so that's a missed opportunity for someone in Leicester who missed out on this property by not ringing the agent and taking action. And what we're actually finding now is we're ringing letting agents about a certain property on Rightmove, and they're saying, yeah, okay, you can come and view it, and we've got 3 or 4 others that we want you to view on the same day as well.
Yeah.
So these letting agents have got a massive pain point, and people like us are going to take advantage of that and help them, help the landlord, and obviously help us also as well.
Yeah, yesterday we viewed one in Nottingham, and she took us straight to see another one, didn't she? About 20-minute drive away. So we saw 2 with the same letting agent.
Good job. Awesome. You need to be writing this down because this gold is coming thick and fast. So what's the next thing that people need to pay attention to?
I think it's how you put forward your offer, because we've spoke to many people before that say, oh, I spoke to the agent and I don't know how they said it to the landlord, but they've said no when the offer was great. So we always say to email the offer over, and it sounds so weird because when you put offers into purchase houses, you ring up, you put your offer in, that's it. But with Rent2Rent, we write down every single step and everything that we can do to help them. So it might be, this is our offer, the money, we will take over this, please forward this to the landlord. And then there's no miscommunication. If you go in through a letting agent, they can press forward, the landlord can see everything that you're going to do to solve their problems.
Yeah. Whereas if you ring them and tell them all the benefits, they're then going to ring the landlord
and just say the money.
And just say how much you're offering. They're not going to say why, and they're more than likely they're going to forget all of the benefits. Whereas if they've got it all in front of them, there's no miscommunication there. So we found that works really well.
Yeah.
Good. Is there any other tips? Do we give 5? I think we give more than 5.
Yeah, I think we gave 4, but I mean, we can come with another tip. So the refurb. So it is so important to get a good refurb team and a power team. And you stress this a lot, and it's something that we didn't realise we needed until we needed it. So the day you get the keys, you need a refurb team ready to come in and start making work on the property. So the day we got the keys for this, my painter came in, we had the carpet fitters come in and quote, and we had the kitchen fitter come in and put new tiles in the kitchen, because the longer it takes for people to come in, the longer it's going to be untenanted, so the more money that you're going to lose.
Yeah, we always do at least a month's grace period. So we got the keys for this on the 19th, I think it was. So that means we've done all of this work and it's still not on the 19th now. So we've got all that time to then tenant it without paying any rent.
Good. So in regards to the refurb, you had painters come and do the whole thing. Did you paint everywhere?
More or less, yeah, except from the ceilings.
Yeah, everywhere.
Woodwork, doors and ceilings, yeah.
Okay, awesome. And you painted the windows out the front as well?
Yeah, unfortunately.
This is the outside of the house.
It's green. So we asked the painter to do the bottom bit because it was all peeling off. So when you pick the colour, just make sure it's as close to the green as possible. He could have picked some off because it was flaking off. But it looks like Ballamora. What the
Yeah, so when you're talking about refurb, having people in it, so this particular property, I mean, we're here, so we might as well talk about it. Like, what's been the situation with this? How much have you spent? What are you doing? And what do you plan to get for it on the back end when you start renting it out?
So when we took it on, it was pretty run down. It needed painting throughout, which cost us around £1,200. The carpet was really old.
It was all squirrely, right?
Yeah, ancient carpet, so we got that replaced. We've also had new tiles in the kitchen because the ones that was in there was really just not nice. It was horrible, there was grotty, so we had new tiles put in there. And we've just had little bits of new furniture. So there was furniture already in here, and it was nice IKEA brand furniture, not normally what we go for, but it saved us a lot of money on the refurb. So the little bits of furniture we have had to get, we've got it from IKEA as well to match the existing furniture that was in it.
Yeah, I think for people it's so easy to replace all the furniture because it might not be your taste, and it's not our taste really, is it? But when it's a rent to rent and you don't own it, you make it look as nice as you can without spending too much money, because the whole idea is cash flow.
Yeah.
So the more you put in, the longer it's going to take to see that money out.
Yeah, and we've roughly on this one spent around £4,000. We give the landlord £1,350 per month, and it will leave us with £1,000 profit per month net every single month. So on them calculations, we will have all money back out after the 4th month. We've got a 5-year contract, and then after the 4th month it's £1,000 per month.
And this is like, the guy has had no money for the last year, and now all of a sudden you're going to be paying him £1,350.
Yeah, and we've done his house up.
And you've done his house up.
Yeah.
No wonder he's begging to give it to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think that's enough tips on how to get your first rent-to-rent deal. And if you want to know more, subscribe to this YouTube channel, turn on the notifications bell, because you get more from these, and check out some of the trainings that these guys do and that Real Life do, because together we just want to give you what it is that you need so you can succeed in life.